Hi everybody, this is Maria Clark at Sweet Willow Designs and welcome to my studio. Today I have a project to make a mixed media past, present, and future shrine. And I'll be using this in the new year for my journaling. This is the goodie bag from Pam Tanino. Pam made this lovely green glittery focal and provided lots of fibers and this little pocket folder which I'll use, and lots of paper, some jelly prints that she'd made, and scrap pieces, little buttons, that type of thing. Shemi provided this focal tile, mixed media tile, and again just tons of paper and buttons and fibers and lots of different little glittery pieces that I can use in my project. Ina Salisbury provided this cool initial and some napkins and some cutouts, some lace. So this was really just fun to get these goodies bags, and I'll tell you there's so much here I could probably do 15 projects. But we're going to go ahead and get started with this project, which is making the past, present, and future shrine. Here are the 4 focals, and you'll see that I use those as the central component to the shrine as we go forward. I picked up this Christmas box at the Dollar Tree and thought I could use it to make a shrine because it's got the 3 components for past, present, and future. And I'm just going to cut it apart. And I need to cut it apart because it really doesn't have enough depth to put the various pieces that I want to put inside. So I'm going to measure it up, and then you'll see that this is I'm probably measuring about 1.25 inches. Once I get that measured, I'm going to reassemble this box so it's a little bit deeper than it originally was. So I've just got some masking tape here, and I'll line that up with the marks that I made and apply this masking tape, and making sure that that once I've got it on there it'll open well. And I'll actually, you'll see as we go through this video, that I'm going to apply several layers of masking tape just to give it some strength so that it can open and close well. So just get that lined up really well, apply the tape, and then we'll cut off any excess, kind of clean it up a little bit. Since I've done the outside, I'll go ahead and also tape the inside so that I can reinforce it, because it's going to get use opening and closing. Not a lot of use, but it's going to get enough that I want to make sure I've got a nice adhesion there, and that it's really flexible enough to open and close easily. And I will put several layers of this tape on. I'm going to take off the little snowman piece, maybe save that for another project, and just clean the box up a little bit. Once I get that off, I will gesso the entire thing. I'm not really sure it was necessary, but I thought it might help the other pieces that I'm going to add adhere better. So I've got that completely gessoed. And now, because I'm making a shrine, I'm actually going to put a little topper on this box. So I'm taking just a piece of paper and using that initial to get a size, and I'll cut a little shape here, little arch, and you can see that that initial fits in there perfectly, and that's kind of how it'll look as it goes on the top of the box. I'll take the paper template, and I've got just some reused cardboard here, and I'll go ahead and cut that out. What's neat about this is you can really make any kind of topper, or no topper if you don't want. I happen to have this initial that Ina made, and I want to go ahead and make sure that I use that, and it'll be a focal point. And I'm cutting a little back spine piece here to help this stay up, so it's got a little bit of a support, and I'll just refine that support so that it fits well. You can see I'm just kind of making sure that it's going to really be the right shape and size to stabilize the topper. Once I get the shape that I need, I'm going to go ahead and use the same technique of masking tape. And I will use several layers of masking tape just to give it some strength. Clean up any excess tape. And you can see how it'll just stand right up. Now I'm ready to sort of start decorating the box, and I have these napkins that Ina gave me, and I'm going to go ahead and use those as a base. And I'm just using some matte medium, and I'm applying it liberally. I applied the outside napkin to the outside, and then another napkin to the inside, and I'm just cleaning off any pieces. I've let it dry, and just going ahead and cleaning that up. Now this piece for the topper is coated, and so I used a little bit of sandpaper just to rough it up, and I'll use the same process of matte medium to apply the napkin and use the sandpaper to clean up any edges. The focal piece that Pam made is going to go on the front of the box. The piece that Shemi made is going to go on the inside, and I'm just putting the marks there so I know where to place these. I'm going to go ahead and use some Mod Podge. Some of the jelly prints that Pam made are really fun, and they're really kind of complementary colors here. Also, some of these papers, these are mixed media pages or papers that Shemi had done. I'm going to go ahead and apply those around as a band around the box. And then this particular lace piece Ina provided, and I'm just going to use Mod Podge to apply that. Here's the topper, and I'm using a little bit of glue, and I'm going to apply some rhinestones at the top, and it'll give it quite a lot of bling. So just using the glue and getting that positioned. And I'll use some clips to hold it on there so that it can dry. This is a beautiful piece that Ina provided. It's just so gorgeous. It's like an antique, looks like an antique brooch, you know, with all the crystals and everything, and matches the letter that Ina made perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on the inside, the piece that Shemi made, and it's a beautiful focal tile. And this is the little pocket folder that Pam had made. I'm going to go ahead and cut it up because I'm going to use it on the inside of my box to create some little pocket folders for my journaling. And there are the two pockets. And then I'm just going to glue those in, and you can see how I'm orienting them so that they'll open, and I'll be able to put my journaling, which I'll show you in a little bit. So go ahead and get those glued in. Here's the topper, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting that on. And just like I did with the hinges of the box, I'll use some masking tape to hold that in place. Make sure it's stuck on really well. And after that's on, I will cover it with some more of the leftover napkin and some matte medium. And that'll give it kind of a cohesive look. Here's the focal that Pam made. I applied a little bit of gold paint because I use gold as an overlay for this whole piece, which I think you'll see in a minute here, and I wanted to unify all of the pieces, so I put a little bit of gold accent on the focals. So go ahead and glue that down and then also clamp it so that it'll dry in place. This is some cardstock that came in Ina's package, and I've made a little pocket folder, and I'll just apply that with some glue. Now I have all of these little sayings and words that I printed out. Some of them are on my inkjet, some of them are Tim Holtz words from his collection. And I'm just using the matte medium to place all of those down so that I have a past, a present, and a future. And then I've got just various inspirational sayings. This one is learn from the past and release it. And I think that's really appropriate. So that's just something for me to use in my journaling, some prompts. Here is the present, and it's be present. It's a good reminder for us all. And then I'll just continue to add other words that inspire me, that remind me to be grateful, as an example, to be creative, to live in the moment. So I'll apply lots of these different sayings and words that are inspiring. For the journaling, I've got these little tags, and I've just separated them all, and I'm writing past, present, and future on them, and then I'm just using some inks to give them some color. And you can see there's what they all look like, and then each one will have a little gold ribbon as a little tag, part of the tag. I'm using the gold paint, as I mentioned earlier, to unify the whole piece and provide some accent. And there you have it. That's what the final piece looks like. I applied just these ribbons to tie the front closed with a little bit of glue. And that's how it opens up. And there's my journal pages for past, present, and future. I really like the way this turned out. I think it's a fun project, and I appreciated so much getting all of these materials, and especially these really special handmade focal pieces that I was able to use in the project. So there's Pam, there's Ina, and there's Shemi's piece. Just beautiful. Really enjoyed receiving these and really enjoyed the collaboration with all of these ladies. They're so talented, and it was so much fun to work together. So again, here's the finished piece, and I intend to use it since it's upcoming for 2016. I'll be using this as sort of my journal, and here's some close-ups on how the various parts of this turned out. I think this is a fun and interesting way to do your journaling. So there you have it, the finished project. I hope you enjoyed this project. It was really a lot of fun, and it was a great collaboration with Pam Tanino, Shemi Dixon, and Ina Salisbury. Check out the description box below for links to their videos and channels. Thanks for joining me in my studio. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you like this video, consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, or leaving me a comment. I really enjoy hearing from you. And again, thank you all for joining me in my studio. Take care.